everybody, and welcome to the last video of our FarmCon 21 coverage. This video is going to focus on the final Q&A session, which covers questions that were asked during FarmCon to Giants, and now they have picked out 20 questions that they are going to answer, and those are the most popular questions of what they said. Something like 900 questions were submitted over one night. So let's go ahead and hear what those questions are and maybe some more clarification on what is coming in Farm Sim 22.
We're back.
Yeah, we are back. We asked you guys to send in questions, and boy, we got like more than 900 questions yesterday night. But of course, we had to select a few, right? What we did is we filtered out all questions that were just doubled and 10 times and like 50 times. These are gone. There were a lot of in-depth questions about modding, about a lot of aspects of the game that we couldn't just get an answer in the shortness of time, right? I mean, you know, it's Friday already, and we would have to chase down the developers to get these answers in. Impossible. So we nailed it down to like about 20 questions that we found. If your question wasn't in there, it doesn't mean that we don't want to answer it. Maybe we can't answer it because the time is not there. Maybe it wasn't mentioned often enough, because we of course picked the questions that we've seen very often, right? The questions that a lot of you guys asked, because if we can or have to nail it down to 20 questions, we have to go with the ones that most people want to like.
Yeah, there definitely is some overlap going on.
Absolutely is. So we got it down to 20 questions, and you know it already. We're gonna ping pong a little bit, make sure that everyone answers the question. Of course, we have some developers chased down for a couple of your easier questions. Again, if you feel like there are more complicated questions you really need to ask, jump into the Q&A here in Discord, or try to ask it over the next weeks. We are still there. You can always contact the community team. Let's start with, well, a simple one. What fruit types are there going to be available in greenhouses?
This is something, since we've been talking about strawberries yesterday.
That's how
everybody's
the question
like,
came up.
what's coming up?
Yeah.
So yeah, the greenhouses are a little bit different this time around. We will have strawberries, tomatoes, and salad, basically. And these are going to be, as we've shown, part of the production chain system. So they will basically produce pallets, and you can then further distribute them, sell them, whatever you want to do with the production chain system.
Nice. And yeah, that was a question we combined. Like, there are a million questions about what's in the greenhouses, how do you use greenhouses,
what's
all
in the
this
strawberries
stuff.
Box.
You answered them all. Well done.
Another one for you, Lars. Is there no season pass for FS22?
We've seen that question a lot. That's why we picked it. There will be a season pass. We will announce season pass a little bit later. Give us a couple more weeks. As you all know, we are self-publishing, so some things take a little bit more time right now. But yeah, there will be a season pass. There will be a season pass for PC as well. I've seen that question coming up a lot. We're gonna announce that soon-ish. Ish. When will modders, and that one, there are millions of modder questions. When will modders get their hands on the Giants editor? Well, as you don't know, and I don't know, we had to ask Stefan Maurus again, and here's what he had to say.
The Giants editor will be released like almost the same like we did with FS19. So yeah, you should receive some information around the release.
There you go.
Nice. This guy is there every night right now, answering all the questions. He's our answered
star.
Like a million questions yesterday, and you're gonna see him a little bit more often doing that Q&A. Thank you, Stefan, for doing this. It's really awesome. Okay, that one, I'm not sure if you can answer it, but we're gonna see. Do you think it will be possible for modders to make it so that we can select the number of days in each month? Because that one is super complicated, but man, that has been a big topic over FarmCon.
Do I think will it be possible? Well, I believe with our community and our talented modders, anything is possible. Anything's possible down the road. We've seen the feedback that you guys have given us over the first season's impressions that Jos gave us, and also in the Q&A that happened 2 nights ago. We're definitely trying to see what we can do about it. There might still be some changes. As we've said at the start of the FarmCon, nothing is final yet. This is still kind of
In development.
everything in development. Yes, we're
Yes.
live developing while doing crazy events like FarmCon as well. So we will see what's gonna happen post-launch. I'm sure that it's definitely, I checked with Jos, it's definitely possible maybe to do this like via mods or something, but we'll just have to see how it's gonna look after launch, what the situation is.
Yeah. And if I recall correctly, Jos actually mentioned during the Q&A session on day one that it will be possible. It's very complicated.
Yeah,
but modders can do it.
It's a very complicated and delicate matter because it's very deep in terms of how the script works and everything for the game. But yeah, I mean, I've seen some crazy stuff that modders have been able to pull off. So if that's the question, if I think it's possible, hell yes. So here we go. This one's for you, Lars, and this is a
the most asked
question
over all of
yes,
FarmCon. I know.
over these last 2 days. What's with the ominous AI helper menu that we saw?
Okay, so here's the deal. Blah, blah. Yeah, well, we won't talk about this during FarmCon. Sorry, guys, this will not happen, but we're gonna announce or talk about that in the near future.
Soon-ish.
It is a not yet announced feature.
Yes.
That's what we can say, I guess. And it's one of the features that when I was asked, what do you like a lot that you can't speak about, it's one of these. You'll see, it will be awesome, but yeah, not now. Sorry. So, what about forestry? Will trees have falling sounds? That's an interesting one. And we just had, I believe, when this Q&A starts, we just had
Yeah, we had the sound panel.
presentations. I think the Q&A is after them. Might be before, I'm not sure. Anyway,
Maybe
we're
it's
gonna
going
ask,
on right now.
We're going to ask Christian what he's saying.
For FS22, we are adding the sounds of falling trees, and also the forestry machinery, such as the harvesters, has much improved animation sounds as well. And everything else is currently a work in progress.
I'm still looking at the,
Yes,
the screen.
I was just about to say another dangerous monitor right there.
Yeah, another dangerous screen. But yeah, we've seen Christian a lot during the sound presentation already. I think sounds are awesome. And with that, we shift, and I love that, we shift to a different topic, to gear shifts.
Gear shifting.
Because there were several questions after we announced, well, you did technically announce it yesterday.
Yeah, more or less.
We picked 2 questions that are, I think, the most interesting for you guys because we've seen them a lot. The first one is, how will manual shift work? And we're going to give that one to Stefan Maurus, who introduced this thing yesterday, so he can tell us how it works.
So the gear shifting is working like in real life. So we got for each tractor an individual setup like the gears are in real life. So you normally have some gears and then some groups, and you can shift them manually, or you turn off that setting and you let the game shift automatically.
There you go.
There we go. With that being said, follow-up question for you. Will the gear shift work with the gear shifter such as the one from Logitech G25 or 27?
I mean, with all wheels, it's currently still an ongoing development in terms of what basically the default key bindings are and everything, but it will be possible. And we're still like figuring things out, where it's going to be put at, because all of these templates basically need to be designed from scratch, partly depending on what kind of wheel you're using, but we're doing our best to try and cover them all. And of course, always you have the possibility to just like configure the stuff to your heart's content.
Yeah, but you made a lot of people happy with that answer, that it works. I can promise. I've seen Discord yesterday. It was crazy.
Good. Another one for you, Lars. Why were some streamers chosen as ambassadors versus modders or people who create actual game content?
Yeah, I picked that one on purpose for that list. It wasn't asked too often, but I think it's very important to...
Yeah, I've seen it mentioned a couple times.
I think it's important to explain what an ambassador is, a partner is, a modder is, and an influencer is, because the ambassador program is just one tiny bit of our overall strategy for the community, right? The ambassador program means that whoever we picked as an ambassador speaks a language I don't speak, or the community team doesn't speak, like Brazilian Portuguese, or Polish, or whatever we have, Romanian, Spanish, we have all these languages, French, you have seen a lot of French people over the last 2 days. that makes them an ambassador for us, because they need to take our messages and bring that to players who don't speak German or English, because that's the only 2 languages we speak. At the same time, we want the feedback from these players as well, and we need them to bring, let's say, Romanian feedback to us. So the ambassadors are picked on purpose with languages we don't speak or time zones we are not in. Like, there are American ambassadors. Yes, they speak English, so do I, but they speak English at times where I'm sleeping. Now with Kerminator in, we're gonna see changes to the ambassador program when it comes to the English-speaking ambassadors, because we need to adjust this, but this will be for after FarmCon. Right? Modders do have their own part. It's the mod hub with the mod hub messenger, where they can contact our QA team, actually,
the mod hub team,
and talk to people who are more, well, with modding, you know. I have no idea about modding. There's no point in modders talking to me about modding, because I can't help them, I can't answer things. So we need the mod hub team for that. Same thing with the partner program, which is technically a affiliate program with benefits. That one is for influencers, because they are the ones bringing out our messages to viewers. So every part of the community has a reason to be there. The ambassadors are for languages we don't speak or time zones we are not in. Yeah. That's the basic thing. We're gonna make some adjustments over the next weeks, you will see, but that is why. And I've seen so many people asking, why is that an ambassador? It is because he speaks the right language and he is in touch with the people we need to be in touch with. Modders have a very dedicated community, but they are not exactly the best in just getting out messages to our players, to the viewers. That's what influencers.
Yeah, if I can chime in very quickly, the modding community itself, something that we're always amazed by is just about how these people also interact with each other. So oftentimes if you have problems with modding, we have like several channels, be it on the Discord or our forum, and people like to help each other out, basically help them raise those skills in certain areas, and that's just something that's really, really great in my opinion.
Absolutely, yes. So, and if you are a modder, just stay tuned for changes to all these programs. You'll see. Okay, will there be mod conversation function in the Giants editor? Conversion. And sorry, again, my English, you know, still German. That's why I do the German translation usually. Will there be mod conversion function in the Giants editor? That one is for Stefan Maros again, and we're gonna ask him.
At the moment, it's not planned to have a conversion function like we had with FS19, just because the difference between the FS19 XMLs and FS22 XMLs is not that huge. And you also receive an information in the game if you get an attribute that does not exist anymore.
This question pops up every FarmCon, by the way.
Yeah, that's true.
I remember that one being there when we announced Farming Simulator 19 as well. So it's there all the time. Back to steering wheels and all these things. Will Farming Simulator 22 support force feedback?
Yeah, that's something that's been asked in the Q&A yesterday, where Stefan was also a part of, and he also chimed in a little bit. We're not planning on it for FS22 in particular, but it's something we might have a look at down the road, definitely.
Cool. Oh, simple questions. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, this one also, I've read it a bunch of times. Will there be some kind of simplified GPS?
Yeah. It's just in there because so many people ask. Because the answer is very quick. It's no. We don't have GPS in Farming Simulator 22, so it's not there. But we know a lot of people asked, so that's why we have this question here. And of course, because we know a lot of you asked for it, we know that it's something you guys would love to see. And of course, it's on our plate, but it's just not there for Farming Simulator 22 yet. In pictures, some tractors have license plates. Will this feature be on all tractors and combines? You can talk a little bit about the license plate feature here.
People like the license plates, it seems. So I checked in game just to get a little bit of an overview. License plates actually will be available on most vehicles, not all of them. It's always depending also if they would have like the space if we have the space on the model to implement it, or where it would be in real life. So we're trying to get that feature onto as many as possible. So it's unfortunately not all, but a lot.
Yeah. How does it work though? I mean, we spoke about you can customize them.
Yeah,
Do you want to talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, you can basically customize them in terms of what kind of symbols you want to put on there, be it like numbers or, of course,
letters.
Yeah, simple letters like that. We have a bad word filter on
There's
that as well.
There's a question about that later.
Yeah. And you can also change the design a little bit, and they are also tied. We revealed that yesterday, also tied specifically to what map you're playing on, which also means that, of course, modders might, for their mod map, use a different kind of license plate, for example.
Nice.
All right, this one's also an interesting one. Can we take on more than only one contract?
Well, interestingly enough, we saw a lot of feedback about that over the last 2 days, and this question was there a lot as well. I've spoken to the team, and I think we mentioned yesterday that the whole contract mission thing is still work in progress. We are still working on it. It's not done. So it is planned, from what I heard. Our developers told me it is planned, but we can't promise anything yet. As we said, still in development.
It's one of those little topics that's just really wavy. It's still in development.
Absolutely is. So
can't narrow anything down.
We're gonna find out soon, I hope.
Soonish.
So that one is something I'm gonna mispronounce a lot again. Maybe not. If I deliver a pallet of flour to
flour,
that's why you know I couldn't even in the podcast. It's your. You ask it.
All right, I will ask it. If I deliver a pallet of flour to another player's production chain, will they be able to use it?
And I'm the one answering it. No, I'm not. I'm gonna give that over to Mr. Marius again.
Yes, that's indeed the case.
Marius.
If you sell your flour to another player, he'll be able to use it for his productions.
That was quick.
That was super quick.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, we talked a little bit about it during our presentation. If you have not seen the presentation, can they already rewatch it?
It's on YouTube.
It's already
Watch
on YouTube,
it.
right?
Of course, it is. Completely watch it. It was awesome.
Definitely.
And it revealed a lot of things about Farming Simulator 22. You should technically rewatch the entirety of FarmCon, really. There are a lot of cool stuff
So
in
much
there.
information.
So that one, super interesting. We put it on here even if it was only asked once, but I think it is a very, very interesting question in general. My girlfriend is disabled and needs special key bindings that we optimized over months. Will we be able to transfer our key bindings from Farming Simulator 19 to Farming Simulator 22?
Okay, so I checked this with some of our internal developers as well. Since Farming Simulator 22 is like a new game that brings in new features, there will be like changes to the input binding file itself that you can like adjust. It probably won't be able to just like copy paste the whole file, but you will be able to like copy and paste parts of it. But the new file basically will have new different bindings in there, so it won't just work with a simple copy paste. I can't really say for sure how it is in this special case, but if you did like a lot of customization, I think probably the easiest way would be to just start up the game, check the input bindings, and then copy over the specific changes that were needed before.
So there are probably extra lines for things that haven't been in Farming Simulator 19.
Exactly.
So find the lines you changed, you adjusted, and copy them, and then you should be fine.
That's probably the easiest way to go about it. Another one we've seen yesterday in the chat, actually. Will the game have VR support?
No, it won't. It's not a VR game, so it won't have VR support. I know it has been asked a lot, but here's the thing. Creating a game in VR is a very, very difficult task. It takes a lot of time because you have to make the whole game basically VR ready.
It's different as well, yeah.
It is, yeah. It's basically like creating a new game almost. And this takes a lot of time, and we don't spend that time to do that right now. Of course, it's on our plate. It would be awesome, right? To drive a VR tractor. I would love it. Man, I have VR at home. It would be awesome.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot of time and is not planned for Farming Simulator 22. Will Farming Simulator 22 have bird sounds? Didn't we have bird sounds?
Sound question.
Yeah, it's a sound question, and we're gonna hand it over to our second sound guy.
FS22 will have bird sounds, yes, and the trigger frequency changes depending on daytime, seasons, and the location the player is currently on.
Yeah.
There we go.
And if I can just say the map sounds, they sound amazing.
You should have seen it right now. I mean, the sound presentation is just over, basically. So you should have seen how good the sound is now. It is really, really good. If you don't believe it, rewatch it. I think we said that like 3 times this Q&A already.
Yeah.
Anyway, 4 more to go. Will NPC traffic be faster? And I picked that question on purpose because we've seen a lot of questions regarding NPC traffic in general.
Yeah.
How does it work? Is it faster? Is it more intelligent? All these things. We picked one of these questions, but it represents all your NPC traffic questions. And Kenny is about to explain how NPC traffic works in Farming Simulator 22.
Yeah, so you might have seen already in the gameplay demo. They've been driving around quite fast. It was actually one of the, since we were demoing the game on Elm Creek, what you saw in the background was the inner state of the map. So of course on there the traffic vehicles will definitely be faster, and just in general we reworked a little bit about how the like collision detection works. So it should be much better, and that's why they basically can now drive faster. They will like recognize any collisions that come up a little bit earlier. So yeah, just in general, NPC traffic will be faster because collision detection works a bit better.
Nice. And you still can't push them off roads. I've seen that question a lot. Guys, this is a rated E for everyone game, or FSK 0 as we call it in German. You just don't push cars off streets on games like this, okay? Not gonna happen.
Okay, here's the one we teased earlier about the profanity filter. Will it be better in general, Lars, and not block words that make no sense? For example, basement.
No. So here's the thing with profanity filters. To understand how these filters work, you need to understand how evil players work, technically, right? If you block a word, then they will find a way around it. A very useful way that we have seen a lot in the past, at least if you're as old as me, is putting XX, bad word, XX. So the profanity filter has to search for this specific word, even if it is surrounded by special characters or letters or numbers or whatever. And because we have so many languages we cover, of course, sometimes it doesn't make any sense because a word is not that bad in German as it would be in English. For example, the word for overweight people in German, easy, in English, swear word. And that's why this filter usually works in a way that sometimes you don't understand, because you're like, why is this word blocked? It is a normal word. Like basement was an example here. It is a normal word.
Why
is it blocked?
Might be in a different language.
If you just cut it down to specific letters and they are a swear word, we need to block it. It is, unfortunately, in order to get rid of the evil people. I know it's sad for people who just don't want to do anything bad with it.
And it's super sad for people that might have something included in just their name. We've seen like that come up, sadly, but it's just the way it works.
It is just the way we need to adjust these filters. Of course, we need to make sure that, they can't do bad things with it. Again, rated E for everyone. We need to protect the people as good as possible, and that unfortunately means sometimes the profanity filter is not as cool as it should be. The last one for you. Is the minimap dynamically? My God, is the minimap dynamically updated, like when we fertilize the field?
The minimap itself, no. It has like a few dynamic features where you can like see players and stuff in multiplayer, for example. But all of these like filter options, they are still reserved for like the main map menu where you have the big overview. Something that might help with that, though, we've seen it a little bit in the gameplay demos and other videos we've shown so far, and I haven't seen too many people talking about it. Maybe they haven't spotted it yet, but we do have a little like information window in the lower right of the heads-up display in FS22. So basically anything you're looking at, you will have the information right there, be it like a field or, for example, like a tractor vehicle or something that belongs to another farm. You will see who's the owner of that and so on and so forth. And it's like very like context dependent. You could be looking at a production chain, for example, and see all the information there. And it's actually a really cool, one of my personal features, because it's just so, it helps with playing. It helps with testing as well.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Because you get the information directly while looking at stuff. It's a really great and powerful little addition to the game, in my opinion.
One of these tiny little, how did you call them yesterday? Geek features?
Geek features,
Geek
yeah.
features that are useful, but not
Exactly.
too important, but they can be important if you play.
Yeah, exactly.
Last one, and we kept the best one for last.
Yeah,
basically.
we saved-
the most asked one.
This is probably 500 of these 900 questions you've gotten.
Not joking.
Here it is, Lars. Will there be crossplay in the game?
So first of all, for those of you who have no idea what this question is about, crossplay means that PC can play with console can play with PC, Xbox can play with PlayStation, all these things, right? This question has been there all the time right now because some of the shops announced it, basically. It was on Xbox shop, it said crossplay. Steam had it for like a few hours before they took it down. And the reason for that is, and I'm gonna explain that very quick, we are talking to everyone right now because we really want to have crossplay in the game and we do our best to bring it to you guys. That means we talk to Xbox, we talk to PlayStation, we talk to, you know, all the different people that we need to talk to make sure that crossplay is in the game. However, as of this FarmCon, these talks are not over, right? There is no definite yes, there is no definite no. So for now, crossplay is still possible, but we can't promise, but we can't tell you it won't be there either. We are still talking to these guys, and as soon as we have a definite answer, then we're gonna let you all know if crossplay will be in the game or not. Fingers crossed that it works, but we don't know, and we are working hard to make sure we get it.
Hopefully we'll know soon-ish.
Hopefully we will know. We should know soon-ish. I mean, it's not that far away anymore from release, right?
Yeah.
It's almost August already.
Yeah, yesterday was the 22nd, 4 months to go.
Basically 4 months to go. So a lot of questions that you have asked, we should have answers sooner or later because we are basically on the final steps of our development circle and we should know sooner or later. That's it. Thank you again. Thank you all of you for asking so many questions.
Yes,
Sorry
thanks.
if your question wasn't covered. As we said, there were like 900 of them, so we couldn't cover them all. It was an insane amount. I was super shocked when I had to find 20 out of it. It was like, oh boy. Well, so thank you everyone. We hope you enjoyed FarmCon so far. And of course, keep enjoying FarmCon because it's not over. If you have missed something, check it out again. And if there are questions, come to Discord. We are answering questions there as we speak, basically, and as many as we can. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy FarmCon. Thank you, Kenny, for being here again. You answered like 1 million questions over the last 2 days.
I try my best.
And probably 1 million more today. And then, everyone, have a great time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And that is a wrap with our FarmCon 21 coverage here on the channel. We learned a few interesting things here in the last Q&A session. GPS, sadly, is not in the game. I know lots of people were holding out hope, given some of the screenshots we've seen. I was giving out hope that it was going to be part of that AI helper menu function that we have seen about and heard a little bit about in this Q&A session. But alas, sounds like unless they are really just pulling our leg, we are not going to have any sort of GPS. Again, unless they're considering like lane selection and GPS as being something different. But at any rate, it sounds like that is not going to be in the game. We've learned a little bit more about greenhouses. We know that we're going to be able to grow strawberries, tomatoes, and lettuce, even though Ken said salad. I mean, it's going to be lettuce. But at any rate, let me know in the comments, what did you think of FarmCon 21? What did you think of our coverage? And what are you still hoping out for as the unannounced multiplayer feature? And what you think or hope the enhanced AI menu is really going to be. So until next time, happy farming.